let's start with the webinar. As a housekeeping rule, please remember to ask your questions in the chat, and we will answer them at the end of the webinar. Okay. So let me get started with this. So basically, and we were spoken about this with a customer last week, and it's very important for you to consider this. What basically differentiates sales leader from the rest is basically the ability they have to find opportunities in before the competitors, to reach out and look at the information they have available and find opportunities where people normally don't look at them or don't normally find them. Companies that are able to identify and map out these opportunities are then aligned to their go-to-market accordingly, and basically more successful than the rest, obviously. One of those examples is basically what Google is normally doing, and Google is monitoring basically over 140 million businesses on real-time basis. And what they do with this is they understand how likely you are to need something from those businesses, and that based on that they will push information to you according to your needs, according to your likes and dislikes, and according to what those businesses are offering. Okay, so what this is telling you is that there's information out there on the internet about you, about your potential leads or customers, that will allow you to understand what they want, how they want it, and it's out there. You can go grab a piece and put it in your pipeline and basically go ahead and sell it. Okay. To start with the sales trends, we're going to go through a list of 7 big sales trends, as I said before. And basically the first one is investing in the future growth, thinking ahead, seeking the future, and being three move ahead is what we normally see on chess. And that's what you want to do with your company, with your sales team, with your sales strategy. You want to be able to see in the future, if you want to call it that way. Okay. There's a trend right now going on the automotive industry, which is having not only electric cars, fully electric cars, but cars that drive themselves. If you go a little bit deeper into that now, Uber is basically testing, or I'm not sure if it's already working, but I know they were testing automated cars, or to take you wherever you want. So you ask for an Uber, and you will get an automated driven car taking you from that place you are at to the place you want to go. And it's basically seeing in the future what's best for the user. You will get a driver faster to the place that you're requesting the taxi from. You will get to your location faster, safer, and cheaper, because it's the car driving itself. It's not paying for someone driving the car. Okay, so it's basically a demonstration of how a company is looking into the future and taking advantage of this new things going on the market and make it possible for a user to take advantage of that. And it's basically what allows you to go big, to change what you're doing in the market, to change what your company is thinking of, and basically to change the game. Okay, so it's basically that capability that you have to analyze the trends, and based on that, take decisions. I'm just giving an example of what Uber is doing. I'm pretty sure that if you think of your market, of your industry, what you're doing, you can think of probably 2 or 3 companies doing things differently. Maybe your company is doing things differently than the competitors, and it's based on that trends analysis. And that was basically what's going to happen. That's definitely what's going to change the way that manager or the way that team works and the way that teams provide results to the company. Okay. Thinking ahead is basically investing on someone, on a department, on a team to bring ideas and put those ideas to the test, so that you can evaluate what's going to happen with what you're doing right now and how those things can change in the future. How much are you investing? And there's a statistic here on the screen showing that 45% of the fast-growing companies are actually investing 6% of their sales budget on those new trends, on those new activities that will support their goals, not necessarily in the next year, but in the future. So it's basically what you're doing now and how you can make sure that your company will increase their revenue in the future with this new trend, with the news, and with this results of the analysis you're making. Okay, finding the growth on the micro market, and I'm going to give you an example in a couple of minutes of how this worked here in the Dominican Republic with one of the very important industries here. But basically, the first step to apply micro market strategies to create an opportunity map, to find out what you have in the market and where you can go. Opportunity map is not only what you can get right now, it's not only what you're targeting right now, it's what you can target in the future. Okay? It's not necessarily historical. It could be based on what you want, what you can get. And you have to be really creative, and you have to use your team, not only your head, but your team's ideas to come up with a real good opportunity map and understand where you're going to go. Okay? So basically, the goal is to align the sales coverage, sales goals coverage with the opportunity, support the sales force in the execution of the works, and use the data as the heart of your strategy. The example I was talking about before is basically how supermarkets here in the Dominican Republic, probably 30 years ago, only had one shelf of 1 meter by probably 2 meters, 1 by 2, with wines. The late 90s, probably middle 90s, late 90s. And then out of nowhere, 20 years later, they have a full hall, or maybe 2, with at least 20 shelves per hall full of wines. And now you have wineries, and you have places that only sell wine and cheese and stuff like that. So it was a market that out of nowhere, supermarkets started to explore, because they said, let's see what happens. And out of nowhere, 20 years later, I'm pretty sure that the revenue a supermarket is getting out of wines is really high. I'm pretty sure that if you think of a supermarket, it's really hard for a supermarket to have 2 different halls of one product. And this is what's happening with wine over here. And it's happening right now with beer also. Imported beer from Europe, from United States, from South America, from anywhere in the world. And we started with a small shelf, and now we're talking about half of a hall full of beers. Okay, so I'm just giving you that example of something that happened here. Another big example of how a micro market strategy works. It's Amazon Go. They started it on January the 22nd, I think, last month, and they are working with a supermarket. But you're thinking, you already had supermarket. It's not a micro market, but this supermarket is doesn't have cash registers. It works with your Face ID, and it's as soon as you grab something from the shelf, it adds it to your Amazon.com shopping cart automatically. So it's the way that your company sees what you're doing is the way that you shape what you're doing into something different for the future, and the way that you create that path, and saying, okay, we're going to believe in this, and we're going to take this path based on the information we have. Okay, so it's not that you're making a decision out of nowhere. You're making it based on the information you have in your hands and how that can benefit the user. At the end, we're talking about a strategy that is basically focused 100% on the user. Okay. So third item is capturing value from big data and advanced analytics. And this is amazingly important here because right now we have so much information on the market, on our databases, so many possibilities of getting data about that customer, about your competitors, about what the competitors are doing, about how that customer or lead is behaving right now, where he's going, who's he's purchasing to, why he's doing it. All that information you have, all the information you have from your current customers can basically allow you to analyze what you're doing and how you're doing it and where you want to go with this based on your strategies, basically. So all the data you have right now allows you to make better decisions, uncover insights into sales and deals opportunities, and deal opportunities, and refine sales strategies. Okay, I'm pretty sure that based on the statistics we have on the screen right now, if you think about your own company, if you think what you're doing, if you think of what you are going through your company right now, you will pretty much understand if you're part of this 53% or not of the companies that are basically saying that they are not that they are fully unveiling the possibility of exploiting that information that they have, all this data, all this analytics, making something, taking decisions, having the team working on it. I'm pretty sure if you think about yourself, if you think about your company, you can answer to yourself, yes, my company is doing something with this data, or no, my company is not doing anything, or maybe your company is doing something but you think it could do better. Okay, so this is the big question for yourself. This is what you should be thinking of if you want to improve what you're doing. Am I doing what I think we should be doing with the data we have in our company? Am I escalating this to someone who can help me change what we're doing with the information we can gather, or the information we're already gathering from the customers or from the leads that we have? And not only what can we do right now, but what can we do in the future with this information that I'm not getting right now, but that I might be able to get in the future based on the information that I have now? Okay, it's basically sitting down and understanding what you can get, no, what you have, what you can get, and what strategy can you apply to all this information gathering need that you have to understand how far you can go with it. Okay, and based on that, you build your strategy. You can start with, again, having a lot of very smart data scientists to help your organization or company to mine your data. And you need people with business expertise to translate this. It's not only getting the data, it's not only analyzing it, it's not only reading and putting into dashboards what you want. It's basically translating that to the commercial world. Tell marketing what to do, tell sales what to do, tell customer service and other indirectly affected departments what to do with this data. And that's the beauty of it. And that's what you should be focusing on. Having a data scientist doesn't mean that you have to have a big team of people analyzing. It could be you analyzing it and you yourself translating this information to someone else. But the importance is that you understand what you're doing with it and how this affects your company. Okay? So the next item is outsourcing the sales function. This is very common right now. We've done it, I think. We did had, and it's not that I think, I know we did it last year and we're going to do it this year. We had someone that was basically working for us getting leads. We were not buying a database of leads. We were not only doing activities to generate leads. We had someone that were basically contacting companies and referring those companies to us based on the prospecting or based on the qualification that we were doing. So it's basically outsourcing that prospecting person to another company that probably has a bunch of people doing the same thing for other companies, but in this case, this person gets to be an expert on this, understands what I do, and does it with a probably lot better, much cheaper price than I would have to pay for an internal person or a full department to do that, and in a faster way because they don't have to go through that learning curve. The only learning curve that I have to go through is basically learning what I do as a company and learning my products. Okay, so the automation that we have nowadays, the tools that we have are allowing us to do this kind of things. There's an statistics here that says that more than 40% of what the salespersons can do right now are basically tasks that can be automated by a tool, and we will see that in probably discuss a little bit more about that on the upcoming slides. But the idea of having a tool that allows you to have all this processes that you're going through day to day, on daily basis, on each department, automated, it's basically telling you that you can focus on doing more important things with your team, other than prospecting, other than qualifying, other than doing simple tasks. Let's put it that way. These companies basically understand your target segments. They use big data on different to identify leads, and they market to different segments with different offers and using different platforms. So that's what I was saying before about this outsource company that allow you to outsource those services such as prospecting. We know that customer service department has been outsourced for probably over 25 or over 30 years to call centers. So when you call a bank, when you call your hotel, when you call your insurance company, it's not necessarily your insurance company picking up the phone. It's someone from another place at another country at a call center picking up that call and answering the questions you have based on very specific training they got. So it could be the same for marketing. It could be the same for sales, and it's based on what you want, based on your strategy, based on your budget, how you want to do it. But think that companies that, oh, sorry for that. Let me arrange this. Think that companies that are outsourced have more expertise, cost less, and have a possibility of adding as many people as you need to generate all the leads you want. Okay, so instead of having one people in your company, in your payroll, working for that, or 2 or 3 or 5, you can have a full call center working for you with a better database, with a better understanding of how to mine that database, and probably with a possibility of giving you 10, 20, or 30% more leads than you would think of getting on a daily basis. Okay, so it's one of the biggest trends that you can think of for this year. Another trend is basically understanding social selling. On the old sales model, the sales process started with a cold call, basically prospecting, and then you went to qualified that lead based on a champ or a band strategy. Okay, and then you show your product, and then you probably quote it, and so on. Now you have a tool that allows you to attract customers, such as social media. The customer gets educated, and based on a tool like Pardo, that person on your social media and on your website gets qualified. And now you don't only have a lead that knows you and that knows what you do and is educated about your product. You have someone that is probably qualified based on a 1 to 5 or 1 to 10 scale, telling you how important is this lead to you based on the amount of information this person has, or this company has. So based on that, you engage with this person. You call them, they already know you as a company, they already know your product, and the type of conversation you have is smoother, direct to the point, and allows you to close faster. And that's basically what companies are focusing on. And it's very important for you to consider this if you are in the old sales model. No matter if you are in Latin America, if you are in South America, United States, Central America, Europe, no matter where you are at right now, it applies to you as a country, it applies to you as a nation, it applies to you as your industry, it applies to you as a person. So basically, the new sales model is what's going on right now. I'm pretty sure that all of us in the line have had the opportunity of get into a brand or to a company through social media and educate ourselves about that company and their products and their services. And if we're lucky enough, and I'm saying if we're lucky enough because I know that not all the companies are going through this right now, but if we're lucky enough, someone gets in contact with us through mail, through a call, through the social media itself, and engages with us, and probably start a sales process right there. Okay, so the next trend, the next item will be, oh no, there's more data. I'm sorry for this. Social selling is about leveraging your social network to find the right prospect, build trusted relationship, which is what you basically want, to trust that company, to trust that brand. That's why you follow them. That's why you allow them to follow you, and so on, and to ultimately achieve your sales goals as a company. Okay, that's what you want right now, and you'll see in a statistic, a high percentage of salesperson are going through social media to understand who their customers are, to understand how they look like, to understand what they like, to have a better engagement. Okay, there's nothing better than talking to someone and without going to the creepy side of the conversation, but leaving it to the professional level, letting that person know that you know about them. That's very, very nice. When people that you're talking to know that you know about them because you took the time to read their LinkedIn profile, or because you already follow them on X or Y social media, and that you understood what they do and how they do it. 81% of the users start the purchase process with an internet search. Every time I'm at a store right now, if I want to buy something and I'm not sure if it's the right quality or how people are using it or what people think about it, I'll probably take my phone out, scan the barcode, or type the name on Amazon or any other website and read about a review. Okay, and I probably did that before going to that store. I probably was not even thinking of going to the store until I saw the product online, but I just wanted to double check. Okay, and that's what I normally do. I go into a store because I already know that the store has that product, and I scan the product. And I'm pretty sure all the ones on the call have done that at least once to understand if that product allows us to do what we want to do with it, and the quality of it and the reviews of the customers based on that search over the internet before or going after to the store. And as I said before, we had a couple of statistics here. Say 25% of the sales people increase productivity with a social selling plan. Allows you to think of opening, as a company, think of opening your doors to those media, to this digital strategies, and to optimize the possibility of selling through those channels. 75% of the salesperson are influenced by social media. I'm talking about B2B. Okay, so every time you think of selling to a company at a B2B level, I think that person probably already learned about you, going through your website, going through your social media, going through your competitors, know what you do, know what your products do, and so on. So it's very important for you to consider that. It's probably 75% of probability that you will sit down with a person and that person already knows about you if you're selling someone to someone on a company. And 56% of the shoppers connect better with brands that are involved in social media. So think about this. And I asked myself those questions before, like probably 7 or 8 years ago, like, why is this company that doesn't have a product that can be offered through social media is in social media? Why is that? And this is the answer, because you know this people exist. You know they have a social media presence. You know they are there. If you want to reach to them at 9 p.m., 11 p.m., you can text them over Instagram, over Facebook, over Twitter, over Snapchat if they have Snapchat. Some companies do, and it's because of that, because they want to be everywhere. They want to be reachable at any level, at any time. Okay, so it allows you to trust. It's like, and I had a friend that said to me this once a long time ago, that I met someone, he doesn't have Facebook, I don't trust that person. So I'm pretty sure that when you think of a company or a brand that doesn't have a social media page, like a Facebook, like a Instagram account, you feel like you should dig a little deeper and find out if this company it's reliable, if you can trust what they do, because they're not on the common places where people is now, where the company are now, which is social media. 72% of the salespeople who use social media outperform their peers, salespeople. Okay, and that's what I was saying before. It'll be better for you as a salesperson if you are using social media. If you learn about that person, what I was saying before. If I get to meet John before that meeting, and I get to understand what he does and his past and his expertise, it'll be better for me to engage. It'll make it easier for me to engage in that meeting or in that call. Okay, so now it's not that you're making a cold call, you're making use of this information you have to make a call to someone you already know, and they already know you know about them, because you probably told them, because you probably sent a text to them before, because you probably text them over LinkedIn before you called them, and so on. So it's basically taking advantage of that information. What we're trying to tell you. 74% of the B2B buyers conduct more than half of the research online. So based on what we said before, now we're saying that 74% of this B2B buyers are basically researching online before buying anything. And 75% of the shoppers feel that the content in the suppliers network has an impact on their final purchase decision, whether it's positive or negative. Okay, so for us, or not for us, for the ones that have not been thinking about doing social media selling, or have not think of using social media for their companies, or that know that the company has a social media but the strategy is not well defined, here's a couple of best practice tips. Investigate where people are talking about you before you think about opening a social media. I know of a bank here in Dominican Republic that out of nowhere decided to go to Snapchat, and I mentioned about I talked about Snapchat before because it's weird for a company to think about Snapchat, but this bank did, and it's amazing how many followers they have. It's amazing the interaction they have with the followers, because now is a bank that has been on the market for over 50 years, and it's attracting users with less than 18 years because it's on Snapchat. So think about where people is talking about you, and based on that, try to elaborate a strategy for that social media. Identify the influencers of the industry and focus on leads rather than likes. So influencers are a very important part of the social medias right now. Think about a famous person in your country, in your industry, and based on what you want to do, based on your strategy, plan ahead with that person. Okay, it's very, very important for us as companies to think of a influencer to push our products, our services, to let people know what we do, and it creates trust. When you see someone you know talking about a product that you want to buy, it creates automatically trust between your company and that person who doesn't even know you or know your product or have never had the opportunity to try what you do. And this item here that says leads, focus on leads rather than likes. Yes, it's very important for us to think about likes. We like it. We feel very, very good when we see likes going through a post or to a comment. But the real thing we should be focusing on, it's how to explode those, how to mine this information, all this likes, all these people following us, and convert them into leads. All those comments coming in, all these interactions going through the inbox of Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. How can we take this into leads? This is what we should be focused on. Keep listening to identify sales lead. Listening is basically not only monitoring what people are saying about you in your social media, is what people are saying about you and your brand and your product all over the internet. There are tools for that. We have one internally. It's called Marketing Cloud Social Studio. It allows you to listen to what people are saying about your products and brand all over the internet. It doesn't matter if you're following or not that page. It will track it down and it will put it in front of you so you can understand what people are saying about you. Okay? The most important thing is to listen in this type of channels. And the last but not least, smart investigation of your prospect. You have to investigate. You have to understand who's your social persona, who's the type of people that you want to follow up on and people you want to interact to. A correct search will take you to the right person. Therefore, you will increase your ROI. Monitor the brand online and create a list of keywords that people use to describe your products. This will help you do the listening, but it will help you understand what words are being associated to your brand and how you can tweak that and arrange it so that people are connecting your brand to the right words. Okay. Item number 6, or trend number 6, collaborating more closely with marketing. I've been in sales for 19 years right now, and I've never felt a better connection with a marketing department as we're doing right now. And it is extremely important for these two departments to be connected. If you do sales B2B or B2C, you have to understand that you have to be connected to market, whether you're doing one thing or the other, or if you're doing both of us. You have to be connected to marketing. There's a research that says that 61% of the companies that have both functions deliver above market revenue growth and enjoy high profitability. This is basically telling you to go for both markets, B2B and B2C, for both sectors. But what I'm telling you is also to do it along marketing. Listen to what marketing is telling you, listen to what marketing is doing, plan ahead with marketing. Understand that marketing will do the prospecting, it will bring the lead to the table, but you will do the qualification of that lead, and you will convert that lead into an opportunity. Okay, there's a fine line here on who qualifies and who does the opportunity. There's tools that allow marketing to do the qualification and to hand over a lead with a high qualification level. If it's not qualified, it will stay with marketing. But there's also a possibility of sales doing that. It will depend on what type of sales you're doing. Basically, if you're doing B2B, connecting to what we were saying before, if you're doing B2B, sales will do the qualification. If you're doing B2C, you might be able to have marketing doing that qualification for you through your website, through your social media, through whatever tools you have where you connect to your sales, to your leads. Okay. So it's very important to have these two departments connected. Whatever is coming out of sales will have to go back to marketing for marketing to analyze it and to target better if it's not already doing it for you. But I'm pretty sure that whatever marketing is doing is bringing leads to you. Whatever information you can send back to marketing will allow marketing to send more leads to you. Okay, so it's a circle. It will always go back to marketing. Item number 7, or trend number 7, adopting automation and artificial intelligence. And this is the last one, and it's extremely important for us to consider this. Most of the companies right now have CRM, whether you're big, you're small, you're very small, you're middle-sized, doesn't matter. Companies are going through CRM. CRM not necessarily a software. CRM it could be an Excel spreadsheet where you have a lot of tabs, and when you have your sales process, when you have your forecasting, when you have your database of leads, when you have your database of current customers. Obviously, if you want to apply artificial intelligence to this database on Excel, it will be a little bit hard. But the idea of me saying this is that I know that most of you on the line, because I know some of the companies here online have CRM, and even when they didn't had a software, they had Excel files, and they were doing a really good job with this Excel files. There's a lot of manual things to do, a lot of risk of having an Excel file to manage your data. But once you jump into a CRM, you see the difference. You see how many things could be automated, and out of this automation process, now we are focusing on how many things you can deliver, or what percentage of this process you can deliver to AI, or AI can do it for you. And as I said at the beginning of the webinar, 40% of the task can be handed over to AI, so that now whatever you're doing, you have 40% more time for you as a salesperson. And this says that it can be increased. McKinsey Global is saying that it can be increased to 50. I think this is a very conservative number. 50 is not necessarily my goal. I would think that we can take it to 60, maybe 65 or 70, depending on what you do and how you do it as a company. But think about this. Whatever you're doing right now can be automated. When you automate, you can take off 15% of your time, 20%, 30% of your time, and allow the CRM to do that for you. And now you have 30% more time to focus on sales. Out of this time that is left for you, this 70% time, now you can apply another 40% on top of that, and AI can do that for you. Okay, so whether you're automated or not, you have a minimum of you have up to 40% of the task that can be automated for you as a salesperson. Smart sales are basically a thing right now. Most of the CRMs are thinking about CRM. Are thinking about AI applied to the sales processes. And I'm going to give you 3 tips or 3 things that you can think of having on your CRM if you adopt AI. We have Einstein here, which is the AI that Salesforce, our CRM, came up with a couple of years ago. Einstein allows you to automatically capture your emails and activities, score and prioritize your leads. It also gives you information about opportunities and accounts. So now the representative can use all this intelligence to identify the next deal and spend more time selling. So now you have a tool that tells you what's going on. If I forget to contact someone, or if I forget to create a task to follow up on someone, it could be a lead, it could be an opportunity. Now this AI is going through this deal and saying, okay, the closing date for this deal is X amount of time, and Alberto doesn't have a follow-up task on this. Let me put this on the task list. And it sends it to you automatically. You don't have to create a report. You don't have to do anything. It'll bring it to you right there. Okay, so just giving you an example of things that can be done. And this is a very simple thing, not going to the deep part of it. If you're a sales manager, Einstein makes your forecast and tells you if your team is on track to meet the quota or not. Okay, so it's telling you that it's doing the forecast for you. Obviously, you have to put the quota on the table. You have to tell them what's the quota for each salesperson or for the company by month, by quarter, by year, but it's creating the forecast for you based on all the information you have. Before you have to put all the information coming from your sales reports, it could be Excel, it could be your financial system or whatever, and put it on a report. After that, the CRM could take all the opportunities and organize everything based on what you had on the pipeline and put it in the forecast. Now it's telling you that Einstein is doing the forecast for you and telling you how far you are to get on track and putting information about opportunities to tackle based on how far you are from that goal. So all of that is being done intelligently with Einstein or with a AI tool on any CRM. Well, I'm not saying that any CRM. I know that Salesforce does it. I've seen it on others, but I'm not sure how many CRMs are doing it on the market. And the last but not least, salespeople will benefit from AR in 3 ways. Data is automatically captured, enabling reps to discover best next steps and close connection. Very important, this part. Next steps and closest connection. You know that when you get into LinkedIn and you're trying to reach for someone, LinkedIn will tell you how far you are from connecting to this person. Now, Salesforce or Einstein is telling you inside the CRM how far you are from connecting to that person, how close you are to that person. And it's also telling you what's the best next step for this lead or for this opportunity based on the information you have put on them. Predictive sales helps reps prioritize leads and respond faster to high-value opportunities. Again, it's basically based on the fact that if you forget to put information about follow-up or whatever, or if the follow-up date is by any mistake of a salesperson after the closing date or after the usual, it will bring it back to you and tell you, hey, this follow-up date is too far, please consider this. Digital assistants will help maintain this relationship once established by scheduling calls and issuing reminders. Again, automation to follow up. And the reason why it's focusing so much on follow up is because it's the hardest thing to do for us, the salesperson. No matter if you're a lead or if you are an opportunity, we've been in this position where we are showering ourselves late at night before going to bed, and we're thinking like, oh, I forgot to call this person. Oh, I forgot to send this proposal to this person. And it has happened to all of us, no matter if you're using CRM or not. So CRM is bringing AI to the table because they know we are human and they know we are capable of forgetting things. Okay, and we don't forget, and we know we don't forget because we want to. We forget because we have too many things on the table to do at the same time. So the power of AI will basically transform what CRM is right now, and it's not only pushing it to sales, it's also to services and marketing. IT as a department can also benefit from it, and e-commerce is also benefiting from it. Sometimes now you ask yourself, how is Amazon doing all this e-commerce follow-up, and how is pushing information through you and so on. Most of them are basically I'm not gonna say most of them. Some of them are created by a person saying, okay, if I was following up on the pricing of this shoe, for example, let's push this the picture of this shoe and the possibility of you buying this shoe from us to your ads on Facebook, to an ad on a website based on Google Ads or whatever. So it's pushing you this information through all these pages that you normally visit because they know that you wanted that shoe. But you also have that email telling you, hey John, this shoe that you were looking for dropped down 50% on pricing. So this is basically AI understanding that the shoe went down on pricing and that you wanted that shoe, and they push it through your email. So this is basically what AI can do on e-commerce. One of the many things it can do. And I know that we've all been there. We got this email from Amazon or from eBay telling us that, oh, this shoe is X amount of percentage off. And that's one of the things you can do. And again, I know that we can normally do that as part of a strategy, but AI can do that automatically.